Good evening and welcome to Dover. It's the Bluegrass Cup Series. And right now, 21 drivers have signed in for tonight's action for 200 laps. The stage break will be on lap number 80 tonight. Alex Robinson will be joining me just shortly. And let's take a look at the driver standings. GT Hawkins atop the charts with Jonathan Atkins, John Swartz, Brandon Holder, Keith Hackney. You got Alex Huffman, Nick Mills, David Farber, Justin Winters, Matt Grenier, Brandon Robertson, and Sean Kashutza are all in the chase. And sorry, that's a little, I'm going to need some magnifying glasses if I'm going to be able to read the point standings or get something blow it up. Because on this computer, it is definitely a little bit smaller. But we want to thank you all for coming and tuning in tonight. So, Bradford Shutters to the house, Sarah in the house, Charlene in the house, Lisa's in the house. Qualifying fixing to get started in here in just a few minutes. And we're about 29 seconds. Keith Hackney on top of the charts in practice with David Farmer, Scott Fritz, James Silvers, and Alex Huffman. Rounds out your top 5 in practice here. Watched last night. It was the battle of the Cletus car. And that was going to be Radford Shutters picking up the win last night. Everybody else had some kind of damage on them, one way or another. So it's going to be some thrills and spills and maybe some unexpected violence up in here a little bit later as qualifying is getting underway. First on the track, car number 15. That is Matt Grenier. Matt Grenier in car number 15, first driver on the racing surface. He will enter on the back straightaway. Along with the 46 is Sean Kostritza and John Kinder in that number 5. Also on the racing surface is Brendan Holder and Alex Healy. Right now, watch Matt Grenier take the green flag. Runs that middle line on the exit of turn number 2, coming off of turn number 2, down the back straightaway. Exit right close to the outside wall. We saw a lot of people throw away their first lap in qualifying. The second lap was the fastest as it comes out turn number 4. Matt Grenier will put down his first time lap. And actually, it's going to be John Kinder on the point with Sean Kostritza and Matt Grenier. Grenier on his second lap. Down the back straightaway. Into turn number 3. He's going to keep that car a little bit tighter, closer to the bottom. As he exits turn number 4. Let's see what his second lap does, and it's going to be no good. John Kinder goes to the top of the chart on his second lap. Brandon Holder into number 9, currently second. Coming off of turn number 4. Let's see how he does. Does he improve? He does. He goes to the top of the charts. Alex Healy in at number 97, come off of turn number 2 for his second lap. Down the back straightaway. Into turn number 3, keep that car nice and tight. Actually, he will not take that lap. He will come down pit road. Another driver running second to points, Jonathan Atkins. He's going to roll it to the stop on the back straightaway. Car number 88, Nick Mills. Took the green flag here. He exits turn number 2, a little bit lower on his first lap than most drivers have done. David Farmer goes top of the charts. He should do quick time, but off a turn. Oh no! Nick Mills heavy into the inside wall for turn number 4. Certainly third in points. Jonathan Swartz takes the green flag in car number 95. Into turn number 3. He runs it pretty high in turn 3. He will dominate down low on the exit turn number 4. Try and get some speed for the second lap. So his first lap, he's 9th quickest. Like I said, he threw away his first lap to get some more speed on that second lap. Look how tight he's keeping it on the bottom as he exits turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Right against that line there. Excuse me. The second lap for Jonathan Swartz, he's 6th quick. 10 drivers have timed in so far. It's going to be David Farmer, GT Hawkins, Brandon Holder, Alex Healy, John Kinder, Jonathan Swartz, Jonathan Atkins, Sean Christensen 8th, Chuck Blake in 9th, and 10th will be Matt Grenier. Making his way onto the racing surface in car number 3, that will be Brandon Holder. Comes out turn number 4, who will take the green flag. Also making his way onto the racing surface, car number 31. That's Blake Hensley and Scott Fritz. Fritz taking the green flag. Meanwhile, Robinson exits turn number 2 down the back straightaway. He's going to keep it low on turn number 3 there. Drift up a tad bit on the exit turn number 4. His first lap will put him 9th quick. Fritz's first lap is 11th. Brandon Robertson goes right down to the bottom there. His second lap should be a little bit quicker off of turn number 4 down the front straightaway. He moves up to 8th. Scott Fritz, his second lap right there. Let's see what he does. He moves up to 3rd. So Scott Fritz goes to 3rd. Blake Hensley's first lap is 11th quick, making his way onto the racing surface. Car number 7 is Justin Winters. Justin Winters in car number 7. Justin Winters taking the green flag. Also making his way onto the racing surface, car number 69, that's Keith Hackney. Keith Hackney on the back straightaway, making his way onto the racing surface. He will get the green flag this time. Winters heads into turn number 3 there. Off of turn number 4, down the straightaway. He will take the white flag. He goes 10th quick on his first lap. Really tight down there in turn number 2, down the back straightaway into turn number 3. He's keeping it pretty low, keeping the car nice and steady as he exits turn number 4. His second time lap, let's see if it's going to improve. He jumps to the point. It's Justin Winters, quick time in car number 7. The first lap for Keith Hackney was for 14th position. On his second lap here. Coming to the straightaway. Let's see what he can do. Keith Hackney, quick time in a 69. Also making his way onto the racing surface, last night's winner's teammate. It is James Silvers. Nice looking ride there for the 17 of James Silvers. In the Function Junction, car number 17. So he's going to throw away his first time lap here. Coming off of turn number 4, the white flag be waving in the air. Off of turn number 2. Silver's looking really good right now as it goes into turn number 3. He's keeping it nice and low. Car nice and steady. Out of turn number 4. Let's see what time he puts down. He will move to second quick. James Silvers in car number 17. It's Alex Huffman on the track now. His first time lap put him in 17th position. His second lap, Alex Huffman to second place. So your top 5 right now looks like Keith Hackney, Alex Huffman, James Silvers, Justin Winters, and David Farmer. Your top 5. Here tonight, you got GT Hawk and Scott Fritz, Brendan Hoder, Alex Healy, and John Kinder rounding out your top 10. Don't forget your stage break will be on lap number 80, a 200 lap race tonight. Is anything like last night? It was thrills, spills, and unexpected violence. That was for sure. And I almost guarantee you, it might carry over to tonight. You never know. Someone might have to call the police. Well, thank you. You know, I got to give it to to Jason. He actually handed me something where I could actually read the points. Since I'm so old, it's hard to read screenshots on Discord. I don't know the second part, but we'll go with it. As qualifying is almost over here, 17 drivers take a time. Travis Twitty, Brian Terry, Nick Mills, and Dustin Renstall do not take time. Jason, I don't understand the second part, or maybe that's my comment. Oh, that was mine. Ha ha ha. I was like, I don't understand it, but it was me sending something to you, and I never did. So, there we go. Now that makes sense to me. Well, qualifying is over. We're fixing to go racing. Here is your starting lineup for tonight's 200-lap main affair. It's starting on the pole in car number 69. It will be Keith Hackney to his outside. It's going to be Alex Huffman. Row number 2 to the inside will be James Silvers and Justin Winters. Row number 3 to the inside will be David Farmer and GT Hawkins. Row number 4 to the inside will be Scott Fritz and Brandon Hoder. Row number 5 will be Alex Healy and John Kinder. Row number 6 will be Jonathan Swartz and Jonathan Atkins, so a pair of J&Js there. Row number 7 will be Brandon Robertson and Sean Kostritza. Row number 8 will be Blake Hensley and Chuck Blake. Row number 9 will be Matt Grenier and Nick Mills. Row number 10 will be Dustin Renstall and Travis Twitty and Brian Terry rounding out your field here tonight. All right, the pace car looking to pull off. There's 22 of you watching on Facebook, or YouTube, I mean. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on there. As you see, the drivers 2 by 2 down the back straightaway. Let's go green flag for 80 laps until the stage break. 10 drivers want the valuable points, stage points. These cars in, ladies and gentlemen. This is Stars in the Cars of the Bluegrass Cup Series as we're fixing to go green flag racing out turn number 4. Green flag is out. Barney is waving it, and we're racing here at Dover. Good start for Keith Hackney. James Silver's right there. The inside line got a good start there. Alex up and on the outside. He'll fall in line. So does Justin Winters. So it's Hackney, Silvers, and Huffman down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Turn number 4, you see the 84 right there to the inside. Right behind Alex Huffman out of the turn number 4 down the front straightaway. Lap number 1 of the books goes to Keith Hackney. These laps are going to go quick. Hackney actually starting to pull away from James Silver's 17. See the 2 different lines. The 17 and the 2 are running. 17's running that middle groove. The 2 is running right next to the bottom. Huffman pulls alongside. The 17 is going to take over that second spot as they come out of turn number 2 down, or 4 down the front straightaway. So Alex Huffman to that second place, and David Farmer now doing the same thing. He moves to 3rd as Silvers falls back to 5th because here comes the 01. Justin Winters trying to follow the 01 on the bottom, trying to get around James Silver. So Silver's stuck right there on the outside, momentarily loses some positions. Meanwhile, the 69 of Keith Hackney is your race leader. And there is Alex up and David Farmer. Farmer right there to hip pocket as they exit turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Scott Fritz hanging along right there with him. And Justin Winters right now in your top 5. GT Hawkins in that 6th spot. Jonathan Swartz. James Silvers has now gotten in line, along with Brandon Holder and John Kinder. Kinder to the inside of Alex Healy. For that 10th spot, Healy going to fall back to 11. And here comes Blake Hensley. He's rocking the top right now. As the 97 shuts the door on Blake Hensley. Hensley goes to the bottom. Here comes the 31. He's trying everything. He looks really strong, Blake Hensley does right now. But he's currently running at a 12th spot, up 3 spots at the start of the race. 5 laps are in the books, fixing to complete lap number 6 here as they come out of turn number 4 down the front straightaway. 6 laps in the books. 74 to go into the stage break. David Farmer still right there hanging on with Alex Huffman in the 84 machine. Scott Fritz has fallen back just a tad bit. He's lost right about a car length advantage over David Farmer. Then there's right about a 3 to 4 car gap behind Fritz to Justin Winters. Winters were in that middle groove, leaving the bottom open for the 14 of GT Hawkins. Hawkins will close in on an exit turn number 2 down the back straightaway. So totally 2 different lines right now. You're looking at 7 and the 14. Also in the picture is the 95 of Jonathan Swartz. A little further back, there's the 57. That's Jonathan Atkins, currently running at 14th, second in the point standings, coming in tonight. Right in front of him is Brandon Robertson. And right behind him is Chuck Blake in the 49 machine. Oh, Keith Hackney got a little loose off turn number 4 there. We just caught it. But he is out front. David Farmer looking to the inside, trying to make a pass for second over Alex Huffman. Side by side out turn number 4 at the line. Give it to David Farmer for that second spot. Scott Fritz right there with him. Look at that other pack. So, you know, we talked about Scott Fritz being a little further back, and GT Hawkins, they have now caught up to the 2 of Alex Huffman because Huffman and Farmer were battling side by side momentarily. Meanwhile, Keith Hackney making it look easy in the 69. On his roof cam down the back straightaway. of turn number 4. 12 laps in the books here. Laps are ticking down quickly. David Farmer is second. Alex Huffman is third. Then you got Scott Fritz running that middle line there. Leaves the bottom open for 14. 14 can't take advantage. He'll fall back in line. Now Alex Huffman to the inside of David Farmer. Gives second place to Alex Huffman. And look at Scott Fritz. He's going to try to close the door on 84. Cannot do it. GT Hawkins right there too on Scott Fritz. Looks to the inside of him on out of turn number 2. How about Justin Winters in the 8th spot? He lost 4 positions at the start of the race. It was kind of because he got stuck on the outside line. They freight trained him on the inside as he fell back to the 8th position. Then there's John Kinder in 9th. And how about Blake Hensley right there in at number 31? Alex Huffman in the 11th spot with Brandon Robertson, James Silvers, Jonathan Atkins, and Shocker Schritzel rounds out your top 15. Here at Dover, you're watching the Bluegrass Cup Series. Something we saw in the trucks and Xfinity Series. You see the leader get way out front, and by the end of the run, they close the gap on the leader. So we'll see if this happens with the Cup Series right now. And look at Huffman now starting to pull away from David Farmer. Huffman right now advantage over David Farmer. He has run about a 5-car length advantage. Then you got David Farmer right there in 3rd with Scott Fritz and GT Hawkins. Jonathan Swartz is actually closing in too on GT Hawkins, along with Brandon Holder. So that's 6th and 7th on the board. 17 laps in the books on lap number 18. Keith Hackney on the Sunday drive. Out turn number 2, down the back straightaway. Keith Hackney, Cornerstone Motorsports driver. 18 laps completed. Fixing to come next time by. Be 60 to go. Well, actually, be 61 to go next time by. Hackney, nice looking car there. Plain and simple, but looks good. There is Huffman in the number 2. The Huffman Designs number 2 there. As we come to 60 to go to the stage break, we're going to go to the Crank It Up cam for a couple laps. Two laps are in the books. Hackney continues to lead with Huffman, Farmer, Fritz, and GT Hawkins rounds out your top 5. And Mr. Asphalt himself has made his appearance in the booth.
Oh, that's how we're introing it again, Steve.
Well, that's what the name says. So, I mean, I could say Money Man, but I thought better of it.
I'm not the one making money. You're the one making money. I'm just here.
Oh, I wish I was making money. We both have to work full-time jobs, Alex.
Well, I'm not the one retiring soon.
True that, true that. All right, Keith Hackney continues to lead as we're on lap number 25, 24 in the books. Hackney still with a sizable lead over Alex Huffman and David Farmer right there. Then a little further back. How about Brandon Holder up 4 spots in that 4th position? And Jonathan Schwartz now has made his way into the top 5. Up 6 positions, you got Scott Fritz, GT Hawkins, Justin Winters in the 8th position. Doing a good job tonight with John Kinder in 9th. And how about Brandon Robertson still rounds out your top 10?
And Steve, the one thing I've noticed, I should not be watching racing while I'm driving, but we did that. So I was watching some of this race a while, and it looks like Keith Hackney has not lost his touch from last night. Started up front, staying up front, leading most of this race here. But again, will he save his tires after, let's remember last night it bit him in the butt early on and that, lost the stage win after burning his tires here. So the real question is, Alex Huffman, remember we made jokes with him throughout this season about how he used to burn his tires here. So can that tube machine keep his tires clean here as David Farmer, Brandon Holder, Jonathan Schwartz, those guys are a little further back here. That's going to be fun to watch as we get closer to a stage break of who can hold on to tires and who will have to sacrifice position after burning up their tires. Definitely.
You look at Justin Winters, we talk about he dropped 4 spots to start the race. He started on outside the second row. But, the inside row, they got a good jump, and he was kind of left out to dry there for a little bit. He got in line. He's holding his own in that 8th spot, doing a good job. And, like we talked about, we've seen, in the trucks, we've seen in Xfinity, these drivers towards the end of their run start to close the gap.
Yeah, that gap,
And if you look at it right now, the 2 is catching the 69.
Yeah, so Steve, the possibility of maybe Keith Hackney burned up his tires yet again. And I got to give him crap. He's a dirt guy, Steve. Maybe just because he runs asphalt, maybe he forgot this isn't dirt. You don't burn off your tires, but we'll see. We'll see here as again that 2 machine closing in on the 69K of Keith Hackney there. So Hackney in the top spot, Huffman in the second spot. David Farmer, he as well is closing in and on these guys. And then Brandon Holder, who was about 2 seconds behind just a few laps ago, now he's only a second, closing in on a second and a half behind your race leader here. So Steve, it's either the 69 is letting off a little bit here to try and not burn his tires up, or he's burnt his tires up and Huffman and Farmer are coming in tow here, closing in. And Steve, it looks like in the next 5 laps we'll have a battle for the race lead.
Definitely, because you look at that number 2 of Huffman, he's closing in a hurry. And he doesn't look like he's picked it up. It just looks like Keith Hackney's just lost a little bit of steam. Hackney went a little wide there in 3 and 4. And look at the closing rate that number 2 had on Keith Hackney down the front straightaway. Huffman, he's going to go right there to the bottom, drifts up in the middle of 1 and 2 there. He will exit turn number 2 on the bottom. A little bit better than Keith Hackney. Now within striking distance down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Look at the different grooves, the different lines those 2 drivers are driving right now. And Huffman is there to the quarter panel off of turn number 4.
And Steve, that last lap, let's look if anything changes here this time, and it will. So yet again, everyone in the top 10 except for Justin Winters has ran a little bit faster. Actually, had everyone else except for Justin Winters ran a faster lap than Keith Hackney did those past 2 laps. So Keith Hackney might have burned up his equipment, Steve McMillan. That's the only thing that we would think of, that the man that had a 2-second lead is now back to 3rd, and yet everyone else is closing in on that 69 machine. So Keith Hackney might have to hope that there's still a little left in the tank here before stage break if he wants stage points.
Definitely is, but hey, we've seen it 2 nights already. It has done it again tonight. As out turn number 4, as Huffman continues lead, is actually starting to pull away from David Farmer in that second spot there. So good job for Huffman, pulled away there. Let's take a little look a little further back at the 7 of Winters has fallen back to the 10th spot now as John Kinder and Brandon Robertson got around them. So Winters rounds out your top 10. Then you got James Silvers. You got Jonathan Atkins, who's second in points, currently running at 12th. Blake Hensley there in the top 5 in points in the 31. Currently running 13th. And there's Alex Healy in 14th. 15th is Sean Kostritza. And then you have Chuck Blake in 16th. Nick Mills, Matt Grenier, Travis Twitty, Dustin Renstall, and Brian Terry rounding out your field. And we heard Brian Terry, he wants to go for a W tonight.
Steve, he kind of made it a date tonight that he would see us in podium discussions after the race here, but he has some work to do.
He definitely does.
But you know, you heard the story of the tortoise and the hare, and there's 200 laps of a race. Anything can happen. We've seen it. You know, Steve, we saw it last night. Anything can happen. Chaos can happen. Anyone from front to back could end up winning this race. That's the joy of long distance racing. You know, it's all, you know, it's never, what is it? Steve, you're going to tell me that I'm so wrong on this quote. What is it? It's not how you get, I don't even know. It's something about how you get there and how you finish. I don't know.
It's not how you get there, it's how you finish.
I don't know. It's not how you get started, it's how you finish. That's
There
what
it
it
is,
is.
yeah.
Not how you start. Steve, it's been a long day.
Look at Farmer now all over the hip pocket of the number 2. Looks to the inside. Going into turn number 3. We're going to have a new race leader in turn number 3. David Farmer, race leader, coming out turn number 4. Coming to 40 laps to go to stage break. So, you know, you think about it, it took 19 minutes to get 40 laps, so another 19 minutes will be at stage break.
Steve, don't say that. Steve, now if we get a caution, it's your fault, not mine.
No, because you came and joined me in the booth. That's the reason why the caution comes out, if anything.
No. You said 19 minutes.
Yeah.
Steve McMillan, we better be at stage break before 19 minutes. That's how I see it.
Well, I'm just doing the math.
Yeah, good thing you do math because that makes my head hurt.
Well, your top 2 is pulled away. Brandon Holder right there in that 3rd spot. Keith Hackney is falling back to 4th. And then you got Jonathan Swartz in 5th. That's your top 5. GT Hawkins is falling back just a tad bit in the number 14. And then you got Scott Fritz. He started 7th, currently running at 7th. John Kinder up 2 spots at 8th. You got Brandon Robertson up 4 spots in at 9th position. Justin Winters a little further back there in 10th. And then you got Jonathan Atkins in the 57, now up to 11th as he got around James Silvers. Silvers falling back to 12th. He's lost 9 positions. He's one of the drivers that lost the most positions so far in that number 17 machine.
Steve, Bill Miller's in the comment section. Shockingly blame me. Steve, I was in such a hurry to come downstairs, fire up the old PC, the old dinosaur, set up the soundboard and everything else, got on air. You know what I forgot to bring with me?
Your drink.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Now look at the gap that David Farmer has now put on Alex Huffman once he took the lead there. It's sizable. And here comes the 9, because here comes the top 2 going down pit road. It's going to be David Farmer and Alex Huffman down pit road along with Keith Hackney. Brandon Holder stays out with GT Hawkins, Scott Fritz, and Justin Winters. And Jonathan Atkins right now is your top 5. So pit stops have started. And there's even more that went down pit road. John Kinder and Brandon Robertson. Chuck Blake did. Dustin Renstall, Travis Twitty, Matt Grenier. Brandon Holder must have missed his pit stop there. Look at him. New race leader, GT Hawkins in the 14. Brandon Holder must have gotten there a little too hot and heavy. He lost some steam.
Yes, Steve. So we're par for the course. We're par for the course over the past 3 nights of when pit stops. Yeah, I can think. So pit window again, 40. You know, between 40 and 50 laps.
Yeah.
Or like 45 and 50 laps. But so now we have a feel of where we're going here. Stage break at 80. Yeah, you'd still need 200 laps. Yeah, you'd still need about 2 pit stops after stage break, if not 3 possibly.
Well, your race leader now comes down pit road along with Justin Winters. There's Alex Healy going to stay out along with James Silvers. Silvers takes the race lead as 48 laps have now been completed.
Steve, I told race control that they need to bring me a present.
Well,
race
I would
control
really watch out what's in that box, especially if he's carrying the box low.
Oh, by the way,
Silver's down pit road along with Alex Healy.
Oh boy, has Granny been in the chat tonight yet?
No, Granny hasn't been in the chat tonight. Thank goodness.
I think Jason finally
Taped her mouth shut or
no
taped
more,
her hands together.
No more Granny. But no one said hi to me tonight. I just got blamed for stuff. No one even said hi to me tonight besides Steve. So I'm a little upset. I don't feel well.
So right now, you look, James Silvers and Alex Healy are down pit road. Here comes David Farmer coming off from turn number 4. David Farmer is now listed as your race leader. Alex Upman as Silvers now comes off of pit road. Hackney now in that 3rd spot. Jonathan Swartz in 4th. Brandon Holder rounds out your top 5. James Silvers will blend in on the racing surface, but Brandon Robertson and GT Hawkins get around him. There's Scott Fritz. He's gotten around James Silvers, so Silvers now falls in line in that 9th spot after making his pit stop. Jonathan Atkins still rounds out your top 10 here at Dover. Your race leader in the 84 of David Farmer.
Steve, I did not even look. It looks like most of them. So again, most of them, besides maybe 3-4 cars right now that it looks like, maybe a few more, took tires. Everyone else just took fuel. So I'll tell you what.
What are you gonna tell me?
Remember last night when it came down to some guys had fresh tires when we went overtime racing and some guys did not have fresh tires?
Right.
Yeah, I think we're going to run into that same issue again here of down the stretch, do you want to save your tires is the real thing. Because do you really want to go into, 20 laps to go and you're on 15-lap old tires compared to guys that are putting on a fresh pair with 20 to go?
Right. Hey, you never know. But you noticed last night, the people that saved their tires, they were in the late race cautions that took us to double overtime. So sometimes it does not help.
No, Steve, it just doesn't help that I'm here because that's how overtime happens.
Ryan Terry currently running in that 21st position. A lap down, so is John Kinder.
Steve, I'm getting love in the chat now. I feel better. Now I'm here.
Now you're here.
Now I'm here for a long time, not a good time.
54 laps in the books. We're on lap number 55. David Farmer continues to lead. He has a good lead over Alex Huffman. And look at Brandon Robertson right now. He's a-coming. He's gotten around Keith Hackney. So he's one of the drivers got... Alex probably got some fresh tires because he's making the move for that 2nd spot. Brandon Robertson the 2nd in the number 3 machine as his teammate is leading.
Yeah, fresh tires for that 3 machine. So he's one of them. GT Hawkins, he's another one that I want to say at least took one side of tires, probably 2 tires there. And then the next one back that took tires is 13th with Dustin Reinstedel in 13th, and then Blake Hensley in 17th took tires as well. And then Chuck Blake is the only other car on the lead lap that took tires. So Steve, it's going to be fun not only to watch how these guys with Brandon Robertson taking the race lead, see how he saves his tires here with the stage break coming up here, but how guys like GT Hawkins, Dustin Reinstedel, and Blake Hensley, as well as Chuck Blake, can they move up through this field here with those new tires compared to guys who burned up their equipment, have these old tires here that have, almost 60-lap old tires on their cars.
Definitely. Brandon Robertson starting to pull away from the 84 David Farmer. David Farmer followed the 2nd. There's Alex Upman in that 3rd spot. Keith Hackney in 4th. Brandon Holder rounds out your top 5 as he's being chased down by the 95 of Jonathan Swartz. Swartz right there in the iRacing.com machine. Coming out turn number 4. Stacy Johnson says, "Hi, ladies. Hope is well. All is well." Well, I believe Jason Collins doing fine, Stacy.
Yeah, sure, Steve. I don't know. I'm not.
Now, I know who she's talking to, the ladies in the chat. I'm just being funny.
Steve? It's not nice to assume Jason's gender. Just because he cries all the time, it's still not nice to assume what he is. He's just race control. I can't help it. But Steve,
he goes. His gender is car.
as
car.
in, no, it's pace car for him.
Oh, pace car. Yes, it goes by. His gender is car as for pace car.
He's not special enough to be a race car because he can't go fast like your current race leader can here. But I tell you, Steve, Brandon Robertson, he is only not even a second in front of David Farmer here. Is actually Farmer's closing in. That gap just ultimately closed very quickly here as you see your race leader is stuck behind some lap cars here. And Steve, just like what we're used to in the dirt side of things, lap cars can either make or break your runs.
Definitely can. As they come out turn number 4, we're going to complete lap number 62. 62 laps in the books as we're on lap number 63. David Farmer right there in striking distance. Brandon Robertson has not been able to get around lap cars. Right now his teammate looks an outside. That is Matt Grenier to 15. Matt lets him have it as they head into turn number 3. John Kidder right ahead of Brandon Robertson along with the 31. Now look, Robertson to the inside of Kinder and to the inside of the 31, putting them a lap down. The 31 way up against the outside wall.
Sorry, Steve. I had a sneeze building. I was about to say something. I unmuted and I was like, wait. Yeah, the lovely people that are watching and tuning in do not need to hear a very loud sneeze coming through the audio. So I thought it'd be best if I just let us be quiet for a little bit until that sneeze came out. But, Steve, it's always fun horning the booth here.
Right.
But on top of that, Brandon Robertson plus 12 as... Remember how I said that gap closed very quickly?
It's now gone.
Yeah.
It's now...
David Farmer's now stuck in lap traffic, so now he's in trouble. There's Sean Kostritza. He's going to go a lap down here as, again, this is the issue with being on... we're getting to that point of 65, almost closing in on 70 old tires. But again, does it come down, excuse me, does it come down, do you really care about stage points? I mean, stage points are very important. But for some of these guys, is stage points important, or if you win, you're in?
Well,
at the end of the day,
some of them need the stage points.
Some do, but for some of the others, it's you win, you're in. So would you rather care about the stage points or win and you're in situation and try and not have to win and you're in at the Roval?
Well, I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket, but you got some drivers that will.
Steve, have you met me?
I know, you're Rob Paul to pay Peter, I know. But one good thing for Sean Kostritza right now, he's at that 16th spot, so 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st, all lap down. The next driver lap down is, in danger going to lap down will be Justin Winters, but Brandon Robertson's not even close to him right now. So that might be the saving grace for Sean Kostritza when we hit the stage break. In 2 laps, it'll be 10 to go. As Brandon Robertson right now completes lap number 69. We're on lap number 70 here. David Farmer still in that 2nd spot. Looking to get around John Kinder. Kinder right in front of him. They got Alex Huffman in the 2. A little further back. And Keith Hackney still rounds out your top 4. Then Jonathan Atkins rounds out your top 5. Atkins right now, it's actually a striking distance to get into that 4th position because right ahead of him is Keith Hackney. And he's bringing Brandon Holder with him.
And Steve, look who's in the top 10 as well. Ryan Stedel and Hawkins. Remember, those are 2 guys that took tires. They are sitting in the 7th and 8th spot here. They're looking good for the end of the stage break when it comes up here, as they will get some much-needed stage points. But again, I just love talking about tires, and at these racetracks, it's always fun talking about tires because tires make or break or win or lose races, let's be honest. Blake Hensley's going to hit pit road, it looks like.
Blake Hensley does come down pit road into 31. Meanwhile, Brandon Robinson continues to lead here in the number 3. Coming out turn number 4, you look right ahead of him. That is Justin Witters. Witters trying to stay on the lead lap as we go into the stage break. But if he goes a lap down, he's going to try to stay that car, first car a lap down so he can get the wave around. And he does let Brandon Robertson around him. And Justin Winters down to pit road now. So a lot of these drivers coming down pit road before the stage break, before pit road closes.
I'm confused. Is it fuel? Are they pushing fuel is the question?
Well, right there, look at the stage break on your screen there. It's showing. Tells you how many they went the first stage versus the second stage. Is all strategy.
Yeah, they should be good. Steve, I can't even help you there. I can't help you. Meatballs for tires. They wore out their tires. Well, at that point, okay, unless you're fixing your car, which it looks like Justin Winters is fixing his car. So, Steve, we might run into the problem of these cars are going to be at least 2 laps down coming to stage. If they don't hit, if they don't get out soon, they could go 3-4 laps down. And I don't want to say with, we'll still have over 100 laps left, but it's like, it's going to be a tough mountain to climb.
Especially it is because 14th on back is a lap down. So Justin Winters is still down pit road. Not too sure. There he goes. He's leaving pit road now. So Justin Winters in that 24th or 21st position. We're on lap number 77. Coming out to number 4, 77 laps will be completed at a Bucks.
Steve?
Yeah?
How bad do you have to burn your tires in 80 laps for your tires to hit 0% and you to get a meatball black flag out of it?
I've never done one, so I don't know. Gosh, it out on the racetrack.
Oh, and Justin Winters also got a black flag for speeding on pit entry.
Oh. Well, that caution is coming out for the 31 of Blake Hensley. Oh. Let's take another look at this. Oh, the 9 gets into the outside wall. Looking at the far chase here. Sean Kostritza comes down a tad bit. Now looks kind of even. Now he comes down a little bit more. So Sean Kostritza clips the back of the 31 of Blake Hensley. Hensley heavy into the wall.
So, Steve, this will bring us to the stage break, won't it?
It could.
We're going to go with yes. And Steve, now that we hit the stage break,
yeah,
I'm going to run and get me some hydration, because if I do not, I'm going to be hacking up along, because allergy season is not fun. Remember how we talked about this last week?
We did.
Yeah, it's still kicking my butt left and right. So I shall return.
All right, GT Hawkins, Chuck Blake, still on the racing surface. David Farmer leads the drivers off of pit road with Brandon Robertson and Alex Huppin and Jonathan Atkins. How about Keith Hackney there, coming off in the 8th position? Now you see GT Hawkins coming down. So does Chuck Blake. They're going to relinquish the lead to the 84, David Farmer. So it took us right about 32 minutes to get to 80 laps. As we had our first caution to stage break. Caution coming out for Blake Hensley. Use this as their stage break. Justin Winters will get a wave around. So Brian Terry. And the 95 of Jonathan Swartz.
Steve, remember how I gave you a great quote from a bottle cap yesterday?
Okay.
Our great quote today is, looks short, stands tall.
Well, true.
Very true.
Sarah says, hi, Alex.
I know people are saying hi to me. I feel special. But Steve, I'm so excited.
Because it's your favorite time of the night.
You know it. I love how Steve picked up on it very quickly. I love this. Steve, we're going to come to the Geico restart zone then. Next time by.
Yes.
Or no, this time by, right?
This time by. The lights are out. They're doubled up. David Farmer will choose the outside. Alex Huffman will restart on the inside. Then row number 2 be Jonathan Atkins, Keith Hackney. Then you got Dustin Winstall and James Silvers in row number 3.
So here we go out of turn 4, Steve. We're slowly chugging along here. We got to get these things, they got to gain some speed. They got to get revved up. They got to get warm. They got to get ready. Here we go. Pace car is off. Geico restart zone. And we are green coming to it. I thought it was sooner than this. Now we're at the Geico restart zone. Green flag is back out. Steve McMillan. Here we go. Just a little bit over 100 laps left.
100 laps? Well, it's 200 laps, a little over 200 laps, or over 100 laps.
Well, I said.
Oh, they said under.
No, I kind of wish it was under, but we got about 20 laps before it's under.
But meanwhile, David Farmer out front here being chased down by Alex Huffman. And look at the battle going on for third. Hackney to the inside, Jonathan Atkins to the outside. Atkins will follow the fourth, Hackney in third. Alpha turn number 2 down the back straightaway. James Silver is having a little bit of connection issue. In that 5th spot, there's Nick Mills, the 6th. And look at Alex Healy looking to the inside to Dustin Rinstadel as they come out of turn number 4 down the front straightaway.
So, Steve, I keep saying it. The real question now is, do you really push? Do you push any of your equipment now until, you got a long race yet ahead? Do you really, push it? Would you rather save it or push it? And like Steve referred to, you don't put all your eggs in one basket. Not yet, Steve. Not yet.
Not yet. Brandon Holder coming down pit road in the number 9 machine. So you got to wonder if he's serving a penalty or something. But right now, the 84 David Farmer is your race leader. And look at Keith Hackney all over the bumper of Alex Huffman. Looks to the inside momentarily. Couldn't make a pass. He'll fall back in line as they come out turn number 2 down the back straightaway. 86 laps of the books. We're on lap number 87. Down the back straightaway. Now look at Alex Huffman. He's closed in the gap. Closed in the gap on David Farmer. So his lead is shrinking lap by lap, corner by corner. Up and right up against the outside wall to head into turn number 1. You see the 2 different lines between the 2 and the 69. The 2 trying to diamond the turns a little bit. And there's Keith Hackney. A little bit different. He enters in wide. Look at Huffman. He enters down towards the bottom, drifts up a tad bit, then exits on the bottom. But Hackney with a run, he got loose. Oh my goodness. Hackney gonna, oh no, James Silver's involved. Nick Mills involved.
It looks like Nick Mills is sadly done with that hit.
Well, Hackney comes off of turn number 4, loses it, tries to save it. Then gets in James Silvers. Sends it sideways, and Nick Mills gets collected in it. First caution of the night. Coming on lap number 89. Hackney coming down pit road. He's going to have to get some damage repaired on that vehicle. David Farmer's caught up to your pace car. James Silver's coming down pit road. He was running in that 4th position after contact with Keith Hackney. Tough luck for him, along with Scott Fritz coming down pit road. And the 18 of Dustin Renstittle. Matt Grenier coming down pit road in the number 15 machine. There is Chuck Blake. In the 49. He's going to gain some spots while some of these drivers are down pit road. He'll be restarting at 6th position. So your top 5 look like this. David Farmer, Alex Upton, Jonathan Atkins, Alex Healy, GT Hawkins. Your top 5. Chuck Blake in 6th. There's Brandon Robertson on the racing surface. Scott Fritz will be the first one off of pit road. There is Matt Grenier. There's Brandon Robertson. And there is Jonathan Swartz.
Steve, who is your pick to win?
The card doesn't wreck.
Correction. I want to know everyone's way too early prediction of who's going to win. It's not way too early, but it's way too early because there's still over 100 laps to go. So it's still way too early. But who is everyone's way too early prediction of who's going to win?
Jonathan Atkins. He will try to go for his 3rd win on the season.
Steve, I'm going to go with the Alexes.
The Alexes?
Alex Huffman and Alex Healy. One's going to win, one's going to finish second.
Well, you know, GT Hawkins. Oh, hold on. I got to go to my big... hold on here.
Uh-oh.
Yep. Let's say yes. Let's see what happens. There, I can read it. So, you know, GT Hawkins came in 9 as your points leader with 2 wins, 1 pole on the season, 7 top 5s, 9 top 10s. Jonathan Atkins second in points with 2 wins, a pole, 2 top 5s, and 7 top 10s. Jonathan Swartz comes in tonight with 1 win, 1 pole, 7 top 5s, 10 top 10s. Brandon Holder, who's in 4th, comes in tonight with 0 wins, 1 pole, 5 top 5s, 15 top 10s. And Keith Hackney, who's 5th in points, who just was involved in that wreck, comes in with 2 wins on the season, 4 poles, 5 top 5s, and 8 top 10s. Some other drivers have had a win that's still in the playoffs. You're looking at David Farmer with 1 win and Justin Winters. Mikey Neal not making a playoff, or he was in the first round of playoffs. He did not make it tonight, currently running in that 14th position. He has 1 win on the season, along with Mike Peters. R.S. Centers with 1 win. Curtis Preston with 1 win. So, and Rocky Boyd is shown with 1 win. Well, Alex, it's going to be your favorite time of the night again.
Well, yes. Yes, it is. Steve McMillan, we're going to come back after we go under the Ally Bridge. And we go into turn 3. The pace car's going to duck off then. And then we will come out of turn number 4. just a bit. And Steve McMillan, when we come out of turn number 4, we're going to hit my favorite time of the night, the Geico restart zone, and that's going to bring us back to the green flag. Here we go, 93 laps in the book of this 200-lap race, and already David Farmer, he's doing what we saw last night with Keith Hackney of just saying sayonara, bye-bye. I'm going to go out and get almost a half-second lead over Alex Huffman and Alex Healy. But guess what, Steve? The pair of Alexes are going to chase down this 84 machine as looking to get a run, and they will get a run, actually. Excuse me, as Alex Huffman there actually got a pretty good run coming out of the corner there to close it from over a half second to under a half a second. So, Steve, this might get interesting before we're even close to, 50 to go.
Right. So we look at the back of the 57. Oh, Jonathan Atkins, you see right there is Scott Fritz breathing all down his neck. As they head into turn number 1, you see also GT Hawkins and Matt Grenier. And in the front, you see the 97 of Alex Healy, currently running in that 3rd position. Here's Alex Huffman trying to chase down the race leader, David Farmer. 96 laps in the books. They come off turn number 2 down the back straightaway. There is the gyro cam.
Ooh. Steve, I've never seen that camera before.
Yeah. Oh, Atkins into the wall. That's going to allow the number 1 to look to the outside of them as they head into turn number 1. Side by side, it's a battle going on for 4th and 5th. Atkins trying to keep it down to the bottom on the exit turn number 2, down the back straightaway. Into turn number 3 is going to be the one to go to inch ahead. Give Scott Fritz that 4th spot. Fritz up 3 spots, but how about Alex Healy? Currently running 3rd up to 6 spots at the start of the race. And the biggest mover of the night is the number 15 of Matt Grenier, up 10 spots, currently running in that 7th position.
Steve, this is where it gets interesting because in 2 laps, Steve, actually, we're all going to be on lap 100 here.
Right.
So next time around, Steve, we're under 100 to go.
100 to go. So this race should end, Alex. We have no cautions. 10 minutes until the top of the hour. Hey, I got a date.
So what you're telling me is
I got a date with my bed.
I was about to say, so what you're telling me is it's a good thing I go to work late tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Sounds great. Well, no, Steve, first apparently, according to him, and he's still on track. Yes, he's still on track. He's 4 laps down, but he's still on track. Apparently, we're supposed to have a date with Brian Terry.
Well, he going to have to kick it high gear.
I mean, Steve, come on now. Anything can happen. It's a long night.
It is definitely a long night as you look at the top 2. I pulled away from Alex Healy. Healy right there. There is Scott Fritz at 4th. GT Hawkins at 5th now. Jonathan Atkins is falling back to the 6th position. Matt Grenier falling on the end. As David Farmer exits turn number 4, we're going to take a few moments and we're going to go to the Crank It Up cam. Under 5 laps in the books, David Farmer, your race leader. Alex Huffman is second. Huffman falling back down for Dave Farber. He was right there striking distance. The gap has grown between those two drivers. Then you have Alex Healy even further back at number 97 with GT Hawkins right there striking distance on him. So that's a battle maybe in a couple laps for that third spot. Right there to start finish line. Hawkins right there is striking distance. Healy goes high. It's going to allow Hawkins look to the inside out of turn number 2. They're side by side off turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Off of turn number 4, give it to the 14 of GT Hawkins, that third spot as he clears Alex Healy off of turn number 4.
And here we go. Steve, I told you to keep an eye on the Alexes, at least one of them. And right now it's Farmer, it's Huffman, it's Hawkins, it's Healy. Then it's Jonathan Atkins. If you notice second, third, and fourth, it's the battle of the H's.
Ah, that's true. Last names. It's a Triple H threat, that's for sure.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Steve.
109 laps, or we're on 109 laps, 108 laps in the books here. Luke Scott Fritz go a little wide down turn number 3. There's David Farber. Alex trying to close in the gap one more time as they exit turn number 2 down the back straightaway here. There's GT Hawkins. So you see, there's a sizable gap from Huffman to Hawkins. And then another sizable gap between Hawkins to Healy. And then Healy has Jonathan Atkins all down his neck as they exit turn number 4 down the front straightaway.
Right now, Steve, I don't know where again, Steve, I've called 2 nights of this. I still don't know where the fastest line around this racetrack is.
Wherever your car was stick.
Yes. So, who is done? So let's go over that. So, Keith Hackney is done, it seems. Nick Mills is done, which I pretty sure I said that when I saw his smoke coming out after he hit the wall. Blake Hensley is done. Brandon Holder's still on the racetrack. Brian Terry's still on the racetrack. So 3 cars will have DNFs as of right now. Steve, let's just hope and pray it's only 3.
Well, you know, the fun didn't begin until the first green light checker last night. So, I mean, we got a way to go to get there. And a short time to get, long way to go, short time to get there. Is that how it goes, Alex?
Something like this. Steve, I don't know. Steve, it's been a long day.
It has been long, Alex. It's been a long week.
Steve, real quick question.
Yeah?
Is Nick Mills back on the racetrack?
He is. He's slowly... Well, maybe. He's going to...
Nope. I think he... I don't know if he thinks... I don't know what's going on here. Steve, this is a developing story.
Well, he might be drinking a little too much on the bottle. Who knows?
Steve.
Oh.
Oh. Is he gonna...
Oh,
steering's broke. Steering's broke. So I think it was one of those. If it works, we'll go. If it doesn't work, we won't go. He gave it until the exit of turn 2, where the pit exit is, and I think that was all she wrote for Nick Mills now. But Steve, I was about to say if that continues and Nick didn't, just pull off and that's where he stayed most of the race, I would have called up our pit reporter of Jason Collins to see what was going on. But pit reporter, I asked him to bring the voices some hydration. He said no. So,
well, it's all right.
All right, it is what it is.
Well, right now, GT Hawkins is slowly closing that gap to second, where Alex Healy is currently running at that second spot. Take a look at the blimp. There you see the 84. Looking to the inside of the 17 of James Silvers. There is Alex Huffman into 2. And right there is GT Hawkins. So that gap, Alex, is closing between third and second.
The gaps are closing, Steve. And again, we always... Correction. I will never hear the end of me talking about tires because I keep talking about tires. But, Steve, I love tires. I have one sitting next to me right because that's a summer project that hopefully looks good. But who burned up tires is the real question here. And depending on when they pitted. So some of the guys, only took tires during the stage break.
Yeah.
For those guys, they have, I think, three sets. I don't know, Steve. Jason's not
too good of a pit reporter because he's holding down Granny tonight, so she won't post on Twitter and on YouTube.
It's not entertaining without Granny.
I mean, Granny was talking bad last night on YouTube.
I don't want to talk about it.
I was kind of shocked. Yeah. I mean, last week Brett was trying to make a conspiracy theory out of it.
Was he really?
He was. He's trying to say I was Granny. I'm not Granny. We saw last night. Granny was on here while I was talking away. But look at second place GT Hawkins. We said he was closing the gap. He is now on the back bumper, the number 2 of Alex Huffman.
Oh, boy.
Into turn number 3. He's going to look to the inside of Huffman. Side by side out of turn number 4. At the line, give it to Huffman still.
So, Steve.
Yeah?
4 tires. There's 4 tires again tonight.
Well, I assume that because there's 4 tires on the car.
4 sets, Steve.
Oh, okay. Well, you said 4 tires, and I just wanted to make sure you knew that they drive on 4 wheels.
Oh,
David Farmer goes down pit road in an 84 machine, so he's going to give the lead to GT Hawkins in the 14.
Alex Healy also on pit road.
Yeah.
Nick Mills has been on pit road.
Yeah. Healy and Farmer are teammates. Right now, Hawkins is your leader. Has run about 4-car length advantage over the number 2 of Alex Huffman. Huffman stays out along with GT Hawkins. There is Jonathan Atkins currently running at 3rd. Brandon Robertson, he was fast at number 3. Currently running in 4th position. Looks to the inside of James Silver's there. Silver's the lap car. David Farmer still down pit road. Now heads out. 4-tire stop for David Farmer.
So with them taking
time.
1 second. I was reading. So they took tires. So both of them took tires.
Okay.
So now, Steve, both of them will have 2 sets of tires.
There you go. 2 sets.
I think. My math is not good, but I want to say they have 4 sets of tires. They've used 2. They should have another 2.
Okay.
Sounds right to me, doesn't it?
Well, yeah. And look at David Farmer after taking a set of tires. He's going to get around GT Hawkins the hard way to get back on. Well, he's still not on the lead lap, but I believe he was 2 laps down after taking 4 sets of tires. Right now, GT Hawkins is your race leader. Alex Upton, Jonathan Atkins, Brandon Robertson, Jonathan Schwartz rounds out in the top 5. You got Scott Fritz, Matt Grudier, Chuck Blake, or Dustin Rinstall coming down pit road in that 9th position. James Silvers rounds out your top 10. You got Sean Kostritza, Travis Twitty, David Farber, Alex Healy, and John Kinder rounds out your top 15.
So, Steve, I would not be surprised if guys like Scott Fritz, Matt Grenier, those guys could stay out a little longer here because they pitted on lap 90.
Yeah.
So they have, they might have some fuel. They'll definitely have some fuel compared to the guys that pitted at the stage break at, 79. Speaking of Alex Huffman in pit road, GT Hawkins still staying out. So Hawkins, Atkins, Robertson, those guys are staying out. Now, remember, Robertson pitted on lap 91, took tires, took fuel. Mm-hmm. So now the only guys to have not pit that pitted, Kinder, Winters, Terry, all those guys pitted on lap 80s, like mid 80s to late 80s. Then you have guys, Farmer, Healy, those two just pitted. But then again, your top 7 that are on the lead lap, they all Atkins hitting pit road as well. All those guys pitted on about 90. So, Steve, they'll have a little bit more distance when it comes to fuel. Don't know if they'll take tires. Don't know what's going on with that tire-wise.
Well, I can tell you this, Alex. Sarah graded your math paper, and she said yes, so you must have got an A. As GT Hawkins comes down pit road, he relinquishes the lead to Brandon Robertson into number 3.
See, I'm just glad somebody, because it's one of those, I don't know if that's how NASCAR does it, or if the tires that are on your car to start the race is the first set of tires you have, and then you have 3 tires. I don't know. I'm a dirt guy, Steve. Dirt, we don't do tire changes unless you blow a tire, so this is confusing to me on how sets of tires work. I just remember we had a tire shortage, so what you run what you brung, and if you ran out, you ran out of luck.
That is very true. Brandon Robertson continues to lead. Jonathan Schwartz is second. You see them both in the screen there. Scott Fritz in the 3rd spot with Matt Grenier. Or in 3rd, Matt Grenier 4th. Chuck Blake rounds out your top 5. You got Travis Twitty, David Foreman, James Silvers, Alex Healy, and GT Hawkins now in that 10th spot after making the pit stop. So right now, Brandon Robertson has yet to pit on the racing surface. Taking some laps off here as we're coming to complete the 134th lap of the night.
Steve, I just got a message, by the way, that says you are definitely Granny.
I don't know who told you that.
The pace car driver.
Well, because he don't want people calling him. That's the reason why he's going to blame me. But he's the one in the chat last night that let Granny talk. So
okay, so now, Steve, I'm getting news from the chat that the first set is included with those 4. So this is why we have these lovely fans that are phenomenal, because God, I'm stupid when it comes to tires. Correction, I can tell you if you burned off tires because I yell at Cody enough for doing that. But it's confusing, Steve. Tell me it's not confusing.
Well, maybe it is, but look right there. So that tells you right there, Alex, how many laps have been on the fuel since they last pitted.
And now Matt Grenier, he's going to be the first one here in that group of 90, of that pit in lap 90. So, Steve, when it comes to fuel-wise, those guys might be the guys that have enough fuel. No, they won't. Never mind. Sorry. Forget what I said.
Because they got making their pit stop, Alex.
Forget what I said. My math is, look, I need to go to bed soon. So my old age, I'm getting ornery in my old age.
So let's talk about your race leader, Brandon Robertson, in that number 3. Again, he has 1 win on the season. Or no win on the season. My bad. 0 wins on the season. He has 3 top 5s on the season and 4 top 10s. Now, gosh, it out on the racetrack.
Steve?
Uh-huh.
You notice how our pit reporter now wants to come into the chat and help us out? You know, couldn't have helped us out when I was talking about tires endlessly on end as we car in the wall.
That is the 31 of Blake Hensley. Oh, and Alex Huffman involved in that.
Blake Hensley is not having a fun night.
No, he's not. But, you know, you look at it right there, the 31. Looking at the far chase. As they come off of turn number 4 here. Huffman's going to come up and just clips the 31. Around goes Alex Huffman. Travis Twitty getting a little piece of it. 31, it looks like he's stuck like Chuck on the outside wall there. As he's going to ride it all the way down the front straightaway. Taking a different look. As we look inside the two of Alex Healy here. And he's not turning up, so is this the car drifting up? Alex, if you look at the steering wheel, it keeps it pretty straight. So tough luck for those two young men. Brandon Robertson still your race leader. David Farmer in second. GT Hawkins, Alex Healy rounds out your top four. Jonathan Atkins will move to fifth. Jonathan Swartz down pit road in 95. With Scott Fritz, Alex Uppin, and James Silvers. So look at there's your race leader. Brandon Robertson, the fifth place driver, is right in front of him, Alex.
Ooh. Sorry, Steve. I was getting yelled at. Apparently, I don't know anything about.
Don't know anything about what?
Tires.
Oh. Well, I know you got to have four. The car requires you to have four on it, Alex.
Right? That's that. I know that. I do know that.
As we're under our third caution of the night. So let's talk about second place, David Farmer. Again, David Farmer currently in the point standings in 8th with 1 win, 3 top 5s, and 5 top 10s. Now, I'm going to look at something here real quick. As they double up, David Farmer and Nick Mills are 7th and 8th in the points. They have the most instances through the season. Does that shock you, Alex?
I plead the fifth. Because if I say something, I'm going to get yelled at.
I can tell you this team syndicate is the team standings with YNH, Weaponized Motorsports, Cornerstone in 4th, and Highside Hustlers in 5th. Alex, I'm going to throw it back to you for your favorite time of the night.
Yes, it is. As here we go. Pace car is already off. Out of turn number 4, we are going to make the descent back to the Geico restart zone. Green flag is out. And Steve, there's a lot of single file in that restart.
Well, because they had to they got the wave round after the pace car wanted to go, so that's the reason why it's single file back there. But look at David Farmer in second, and there is your race leader. Look how many lap cars in between first and second. There's Brandon Robertson, and there is David Farmer. So you got 2, 4, 6 lap cars in between first and second there. Justin Winters right in front of David Farmer. Winters in that 15th position.
Well, Steve, talk about it for a second here. Jonathan Schwartz, Scott Fritz.
Yeah.
So they're in 7th and 8th. They're on the lead lap, it says. But if you look at they are 20 seconds behind your race leader. And we just came back to the green flag. I'm confused.
Well, actually, you look at the one. He is a lap down to the 3 of Brandon Robertson. So that is correct. Jonathan Swartz trying to get a lap back here, get on the lead lap as he looks underneath Brandon Robertson as he does get his lap back at 95. So Jonathan Swartz is on the lead lap now. He's the last car in the lead lap in that 6th position.
Steve, I can't trust timing and scoring because timing and scoring has me all confused. Because at one point, Scott Fritz is on the lead lap, and he's 20 seconds behind the leader. The next time, he's a lap down. I don't know. It's confusing. But all I know is Brandon Robertson might be the man to beat here tonight. Let's be honest with it. He might be the man to beat.
He might be. In 2 laps, we'll be at the 50 to go mark. You know, I told you earlier when we got on here, thrills, spills, and unexpected violence. Well, we had a lot of thrills and a lot of spills. Violence comes afterwards in chat.
Oh, that's the best part of the night. Sorry, I woke up and chose violence.
So let's look at David Farber. Let's see how many cars he's gotten around. He's gotten around Chuck Blake there. Farber's still in that 2nd position, so there is 5 cars that are a lap down that's in between 1st and 2nd. Take that back. 4 cars. David Farber right there. Chuck Blake right behind him, who is a lap down. Then you got GT Hawkins currently running at 3rd. Jonathan Atkins running in 5th. 4th. Alex Healy in 5th. You got Jonathan Swartz, last driver on the lead lap, right ahead of your race leader.
Oh boy, Steve, this timing and scoring just messed me up like even worse. Because that time it had James Silvers on the lead lap. Steve, I'm getting old. Or I'm getting confused. Something's happening. But all I know, the race leader stays the same. The top 3, top 5 have stayed the same. Is Scott Fritz on the lead lap now? I think. I lost Steve for a second there, folks. So we're going to keep going here as we are under 50 laps to go in this one here. It's still the 3 machine. That is
Brandon Robertson.
Yes. Steve, sorry. Timing and scoring is just like messing with my head because names are going blue, then going white, then going blue, then going white. And to explain to people, they're either a lap down or they're on the lead lap, but timing and scoring is confused because they're all like really close together. So trying to look at 2 screens, it's not working right now for me, Steve. I don't know what's going on, Steve. I'm out of my element here with this one.
Well, you look at Scott Fritz. He's 1 lap down, right behind your race leader. Going to try to get his lap back the hard way, too. So Scott Fritz trying to be the 7th driver on the lead lap. And he might get it done. The top 6 are the only drivers on the lead lap. As Brandon Robertson trying to put on the clinic. He showed he was strong early on in that number 3 machine. That last caution really helped him as he stayed out while everybody else pitted. As you look right there, there is Scott Fritz. He's currently running at 7th, closed up on the tail, taking at number 3. In 2 laps, Alex, it'd be 40 to go. For the 3 of Brandon Robertson.
And Steve will be closing in, I think, about lap 170. Do not quote me on that.
Well,
between 170 and 180.
If I quoted you, then it'd be like me quoting a car with 3 tires.
I never said the car had 3 tires. Now, did I?
Well, no, but I mean, I had to clarify.
Yes, you have to clarify a lot of things when I talk at some points. But to reiterate, 170 to 180 is your pit window. I would not say pit after that. Well, depends. Honestly, depends. Do you want to?
Well, how about this, Alex? 20 drivers are back in the race, so either on a race or some drivers gotten back in. Only one driver out, that is Keith Hackney in a 69.
Steve, can we go see Nick Mills? Because I just want to know if that car is driving straight.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to see Nick's back on the racetrack because that car did not look pretty at all.
So we look at it right now. Scott Fritz has gotten around Brandon Robertson. Actually, quite a few have gotten around Brandon Robertson. Look at that. He's in a whole gaggle of cars right behind him. Front, behind him, left, right, sideways.
So, Steve,
David Farmer's there. Look, David Farmer closing the gap.
Again, this is the weird part, Steve, is you're used to, lap traffic being the issue when the race leader is chasing down lap traffic. You rarely see lap traffic being an issue when lap traffic is passing your race leader and competing with your race leader to get back on the lead lap.
Oh, definitely. As you look at David Farmer, he's closing that gap in a hurry. Actually, David Farmer's in third now because there's GT Hawkins looking for the race lead, giving GT Hawkins your new race leader as they come off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. And now GT Hawkins starting to pull away from the number 3 of Brandon Robertson. There's David Farmer striking distance. He looks to the inside of Brandon Robertson. Robertson fall back to third. Let's see where the 4th place runner. There he is. There's about 2 cars in between Robertson and Atkins. Now 1. Atkins got around Alex Huffman. So that's amazing. Alex, if you really think about it, how the start of it happened, and now the drivers in the top 4 are really starting to close the gap on each other.
Yes, they are. And yeah, here we go, Steve. About 3 laps, I would say 3 to 4 laps is when pit window will open for some of these drivers. Especially, David Farmer pitted on lap 123. Alex Healy pitted on lap 122. Those 2 are going to be interesting, to say the least, of how much fuel they have, how their tires are, What are you going to do? That's the decision, Steve's. Decisions. What are you going to do? Are you going to take fuel? You're going to take tires and fuel? You're going to take just tires? Well, you have to take fuel no matter what. So it's either take tires with fuel or take just fuel.
Well, if you have a set of tires, why not go ahead and take them? Or you could be like someone last night that took them with the green and white checker, and we saw what that happened. What that led to.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it, Steve.
Yeah, let me talk about it. Look at Brandon Robertson. Still in third, but right now Atkins underneath him for the pass for third. Getting Jonathan Atkins out, turn number 4. Atkins moves to third as Robinson falls back to 4th. So now Jonathan Atkins has his eyes set on the 84. There's 3 cars in between them. Up and fall along with Jonathan Atkins there. There's David Farmer. He currently running his second. Alex Healy coming down pit road for his final stop of the night in the 97.
So, Steve, I'm going to keep a track on his pit time here when he hit the pit stall. David Farmer now coming down pit road as well. So now, Healy still not in pit stall. Now he's in pit stall, Steve. So let's see. Will he take tires? Will he take fuel? We will find out. It's looking like tires, Steve. He's already had a 10-second pit stop, so tires indeed for the 97 machine of Alex Healy. This is his 4th pit stop, Steve. That's his last set of tires. So now, do not burn those tires up before you need to, or you're going to be in a world of hurt.
Well, let's take a look at this real quick. So right now, GT Hawkins comes in tonight with 2 wins on the season, your points leader, and tonight with 7 top 5s and 9 top 10s. And he only has 53 instances. That either means you touched the wall, gotten something with the driver, touched the driver, been in a wreck. He's on the low side leading the point stands. He's up front here tonight. So 5 drivers on the lead lap. That's Scott Fritz, Jonathan Swartz, Brandon Robertson, Jonathan Atkins, and GT Hawkins. I mean, talk
Steve,
about...
I didn't even get to talk about it yet tonight. It was updated. So, the ButtKicker points coming into tonight.
Yeah.
Frankie Barroso is not here.
Yeah.
Scott Fritz is here. Dustin Reinsettle's here.
Yeah.
Charles Blake, I think, was here.
Yep. Chuck Blake?
No, Charles Blake, it says.
That is Chuck Blake.
Okay, thank you. Ryan Terry here, Travis Twitty here, Blake Hensley here, Healy here, Mo Abbott not here, Tony Iverson not here. So 8 out of the top 10 in points for that are here tonight, Steve. So this, not only just in the championship points, but the ButtKicker points, that's where it gets interesting in this league is, it's also great because if you're out of the playoffs, you still have something in the race for because you still have a chance at winning something. You can win that 5th place spot, which, let's be honest, top 5 is pretty good, especially with the competitors. And again, I still agree with Steve that the Truck Series is one of the most competitive series I've watched week in and week out, Steve. I cannot wait to watch the Roval here because I'm kind of hoping for a first-time winner next week.
Yeah, definitely. Brandon Robertson now back to the point as your race leader with Scott Fritz in second. And how about Alex up and down in that 3rd position? James Silver is currently scored in 4th. Then you got David Farber after making a pit stop, currently in 5th with GT Hawkins after his pit stop in 6th. Then you got Jonathan Atkins in 7th. Atkins coming back onto the racing surface on the back straightaway. Alex Healy in 8th. Jonathan Swartz in 9th. 10th is Sean Kostritza, and he's coming down pit road. So Brandon Robertson, your race leader, in that number 3.
And so 3 guys have yet to pit. That's Robertson, that's Fritz, that's Huffman. Those guys pitted on lap 141. So, Steve, they have some fuel. They have some tires. What are they going to do? But here's the funniest part. Alex Huffman, remember, he had that damage with that caution. He had over a minute in the pits, and now he's back up to 3rd, Steve. So, again, these green flag pit stops are crucial when it's only a mile raceway. You see how many guys are laps down. You see how many guys are 2 to 3 laps down. You see how many guys are 4 to 5 laps down. Steve, if you speed in the pits, if you do something, miss your pit stall, anything and everything, it can cost you this race at this point here. So you have to be very crucial. You want to talk about a money stop? This is the money stop, especially for your top 3 of Robertson, Fritz, and Huffman, because at this point with 19 to go, you're pitting this late in the race, it's a make or break money stop here because one mistake could cost you not only a top 5, but a top 10.
So you look at the pit strategies right now on the board. David Farber is the first one that just had a pit stop. You look at him right now, he's made his way up to 4th. And you will watch it on the screen of Brandon Robertson. There's Matt Grenier side by side there. So look at David Farmer. He's a lap down, looking to get his lap back the hard way. And this might just bite Robinson in the butt when he makes his final stop of the night, because he just allowed David Farmer to get around him. Might have took that pit stop a little too late. David Farmer on fresher tires, getting around. He's in that 4th position. There's GT Hawkins right there too. So these two drivers probably will battle it out for the race lead.
Steve, you know what these guys are hoping for? These guys are hoping for caution. If you're in the top 3, you're hoping for a caution. So then you can go into pit road and not have to worry. And, you know, at that point, you'll still have about 10 lap newer tires than the rest of the field here. So that could make a difference when you think about it when it's all said and done here. But it's going to come down. They're going to have to pit sooner or later because they will not have enough fuel. I don't think any way, shape, or form you'll have enough fuel to finish this race right now after pitting on lap 141. It's 40. Oh, maybe, because it's what I say. Pit window's 45 to like 48, so maybe.
Well, let's take a look at it. There's the battle going on for 4th and 5th right there as they come out turn number 4. Brandon Robertson just now entered middle of 3 and 4. So that's where 4th and 5th are versus the race leader. So maybe Robertson, you know, if Farmer and Hawkins continues to battle it out, and that's something that David or Brandon Robertson's going to want, because they're going to use up the tires a little quicker. Chuck Blake running in the 10th spot comes down pit road. The 14 uses the 2 as a pick there to get around for that 3rd spot. So Huffman does fall back to 5th. David Farmer around him. They use the 2 as a pick, so that way David Farmer had to let off the gas. There's Robertson right there. There's Scott Fritz in 2nd. Coming down pit road, and there is, oh, Nelly. GT Hawkins and the 84 David Farmer almost made contact there.
So, Steve, apparently the front pack is clutching up, and here's where it's going to get. And I would not even come close to the top. I don't care if the fast guys are coming. I'd force them to run the top. If you're the race leader and you are close on fuel here, I'd stay to the bottom, which running the top here, unless you're trying to carry momentum, running the top here is not going to bode well for trying to finish this race here with 10 to go.
Well, there's your race leader. 10 laps to go. There is GT Hawkins. He's coming out turn number 2 now. Brandon Robertson is coming out turn number 4. So half the track distance between 1st and 2nd. 9 laps to go. Do you think Brandon Robertson can do it? Scott Fritz making his way back onto the race's surface in that 9th position.
Steve, it's going to be close.
It is.
It's going to be very close, to say the least, here.
So there is, I mean, the gap's closing because there is Brandon Robertson. He's entering turn number 1. GT Hawkins is right there at the front straightaway, so.
So, as it is right now, you have... Actually, let's be honest here. GT Hawkins, that gap has closed to under 4 seconds very quickly. Then you have David Farmer. That gap has closed under 5 seconds very quickly. Steve? Jonathan Atkins is about to make it under 10 seconds. And Jonathan Atkins, like 2 laps ago, was over 15 seconds behind your race leader here. Steve, this is going to get even more interesting as James Silver's going to hit pit road here. Questionable of what's going on with Silver's there, as he was running in the top 10 here and hitting pit road with 8 to go. That's head scratching, Steve. I don't know what's going on with that 17 machine.
Yeah, it goes into turn number 3. Robertson 5 laps to go. Can he hold off the hard charge of GT Hawkins? Because there's Hawkins coming in strong into turn number 1. Brandon Robertson exits turn number 2 there. He looks to the bottom of Chuck Blake. You got to wonder, did he save enough fuel now, since GT Hawkins is almost caught up with him?
So Hawkins is about a second and a half behind. Farmer's still about 3.5 seconds behind here. Jonathan Atkins, remember that guy? Yeah, he's under 10 seconds now, Steve. This could be a 4-car race to, oh boy. This could be a 4-car race to the finish here. And again, the biggest question of the night right now is, does Brandon Robertson have enough fuel to make it?
3 laps to go. It'll take us 3 laps to figure this out. Robertson, your race leader, into number 3, followed by GT Hawkins, is closing the gap in a hurry. There's David Farmer looking underneath the 31 of Blake Hensley. Hawkins got around Chuck Blake. There is Robertson. So 2 laps to go now, Alex. And he's within striking distance down the back straightaway. Robertson, we're about 10-car length advantage over GT Hawkins. They head into turn number 3. Hawkins closing the gap a little bit more out of turn number 4. White flag in air. 1 more to go. Alex, bring us home.
GT Hawkins, oh boy, there it goes. Sayonara, GT Hawkins. He takes the race lead here. So what looked like a Cinderella, Brandon Robertson, Steve, he is not going to finish this race in the top 3 at all. GT Hawkins, he is out to a 3-second lead. He's going through 3 and 4 past the Geico restart zone one more time. And GT Hawkins, he's going to win here at Dover. David Farmer going to come home in the 2nd spot. Jonathan Atkins, Steve McMillan. Jonathan Atkins comes home in 3rd. Brandon Robertson isn't even going to come home in 4th here, as he's going to hope and pray to finish. Alex Healy comes home 4th. And some more passes, as there goes Jonathan Schwartz here. That 3 machine's going to cruise, and he takes the checkered flag. So Steve McMillan, even with running out of gas, with how many cars were laps down, Brandon Robertson finishes 6th.
I mean, that's one hell of a strategy that Brandon Robertson did. I mean, kudos to him. I mean, he tried to save as much fuel as he can. He had to get on the gas maybe a little bit earlier when he saw GT Hawkins come along. You know, it was dang if you do and dang if you don't. So, but good job to the 14 tonight of GT Hawkins, picking up his 3rd win on the season. So let's take a look at your official results on the board. GT Hawkins coming home with the win, with David Farmer in 2nd, Jonathan Atkins in 3rd, Alex Healy in 4th, 5th will be Jonathan Schwartz, 6th will be Brandon Robertson, Scott Fritz in 7th, Alex Huffman in 9th, 10th will be, or 9th will be, well, I just lied, I messed that totally up. Scott Fritz in 7th, Alex Huffman in 8th, 9th will be Sean Kostritza, 10th will be John Kinder, 11th will be James Silvers.
Matt Grenier comes home in the 12th spot. Travis Twitty in 13th. Chuck Blake in 14th. Justin Winters, 15th. Brian Terry in the 16th spot. 17th goes to Brandon Holder. 18th goes Dustin Reinsettle. Nick Mills comes home 19th. Blake Hensley in the 20th spot. And coming home in the 21st spot, that is Keith Hackney.
So we'll be right back with post-race interviews. All right, welcome back to the Bluegrass Cup Series as we get ready for post-race interviews. Let me scroll down here. And Mr. Asphalt caught up with the race winner tonight, GT Hawkins.
And GT Hawkins taking home the race win. And a little bit different here. You know, tonight you had, with I think 5 laps to go, you had about 7 to 8 seconds behind the race leader. That gap closed very quickly. And white flag comes out. And that's when you struck and you took the race lead. You didn't look back and you took home the race win.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't the fastest, definitely in practice and early in the race for sure. I was quite a bit off. I was a little nervous, and then just got a couple of lucky breaks, and a few of the faster guys tonight for sure had issues early, which helped us. So, and then, you know, just I don't know. I mean, I wasn't expecting. I think it was the 3-year Brandon to go that far on fuel. I don't think I would have caught him if he didn't run out. I was digging the last 20 laps, so props to him for pulling off pretty awesome strategy. And yeah, props to everybody here racing for keeping it mostly clean tonight. It was a lot of green flag laps.
And we know you got a lot of great sponsors helping out that 14 machine and some great teammates. Take some time and thank them here for helping you get another win tonight.
Yeah, I got to thank all my teammates at Cornerstone, Jason, everybody at Bluegrass for putting this on. You guys for broadcasting, Glory Pole, and all my friends and family out there watching. Thanks.
That is your winner here tonight, the 14 of GT Hawkins, Steve McMillan. You're catching up with our second place finisher here tonight.
All right, Alex. Alex?
Steve?
Yeah?
I threw it to you.
I know. But when you hit mute, you know, the throw don't always go very well.
What button did I press?
No, me.
Oh, you.
David Farber, congratulations on your second place finish tonight. I mean, you and GT Hawkins had one hell of a battle at the closing stages.
He just ended up with a little bit fresher tire than what I had, but it was a fun race nonetheless.
Was it that, you know, y'all were battling pretty hard? Do you think that kind of...
that last caution, the late caution that came out, I think it was on lap 140 something, I think. I was going to come in at 160 for my last stop, and that just threw everything off. I ended up having to stay out because I was a lap down from just stopping a few laps before that, and I just wasn't able to. That threw me off, put me at the back of the field. Had to get through everybody and burnt my tires up doing that, and then I guess GT's had a little bit quicker, easier run to come through the field than I did. But overall, it was a fun, like I said, it was a fun race, and I led a bunch of laps. I don't know exactly how many I led, but overall, it was fun.
Well, you know, I mean, we go to the Roval next week. So what is your strategy, game plan going in there?
Man, I pride myself on road courses in the league. I'm usually pretty quick at them. But the Roval is one of those races that it's my first time ever running the Cup Series on it. So we'll see how it goes. You know, we'll probably, myself and the team will get together and get a strategy built up together and try to get us all there at the end.
All right, go ahead and thank those fine sponsors making it all possible.
Yeah, not really any sponsors, but I just want to appreciate everybody that watched and caught the race. You know, thank all my friends and everybody that came and watched me and cheered me on. Thank you guys, as always, for coming here and giving us an awesome broadcast, and Jason for putting on the league. And as it winds down here, we think we're starting to gear up for the next season. So if anybody's listening, you want to come race, come on race. We're open and we're a friendly bunch, and we enjoy having everybody. You know, thank my teammates Matt, Brandon, and Alex for all the strategy and help. I think Brandon ran out of gas there at the end, unfortunately, but he still had a good strong finish, P6. Alex with his best P4 finish I think ever in the Cup Series. So overall, it was a great night for the team. Great night for myself, P2. I'm not mad at that. So yeah, it's a great race and fun. Dover's a fun track, and we'll see you guys next week.
All right, that is. I almost got confused at first when it said Daytona Dave there,
Yeah, so that they coined that name to me because my first win ever in Bluegrass was Daytona right before the season ends. So there was a name that I was coined, and it hasn't gone away yet.
All right, David Farmer coming home in second place tonight. Well, Alex, you caught up with the guy with the smoking hot wife, Jonathan Atkins.
Coming home in the third place spot, Jonathan Atkins here tonight. And Jonathan, coming down to the stretch there, the gap was wide between first, second, and third there, coming to that white flag. Did you think coming out of turn 4 that you'd be talking to us on a podium?
No, I didn't. I knew he was going to be close on fuel, but I was actually kind of pulling for him to make it. He needed a good finish. So, but we'll take third, and always good to talk to you.
Yeah, and now we keep talking about it, the Roval next week. For some people, it's some of their favorite tracks. How do you feel going into, I think, the last road course of the season?
Of all the road courses, it's probably my favorite. So I don't credit myself as a road racer at all, but I think I can hang in there and finish top 5 or 6 and move on to the next round. That's really all I need to do. So any better than that is positive.
Well, with the season coming to an end here, another podium, another good run for that 57. We know you got a lot of great people backing that 57 machine. Take some time and thank them here for this season.
Yeah, first off, thank you guys, UDTV and Jason, putting all this stuff on it. It's awesome to have a place to race and race clean every week. And then thank CASHAPP Racing, CASHAPP Designs, Miller Family Trucking, Studio 10, Wotel. Thank my buddy Kent here. I'm actually out of town and drove to his house, which is about an hour away, to use his rig, and he's sit here and click tires and work with me on strategy. So I think it's a big part of where we're finished today too. So, and as always, my smoking hot wife. So.
Well, that is your third place finisher here tonight, the 57 of Jonathan Atkins. Steve McMillan, post-race interviews are done. And another week of Bluegrass is done. It's road racing time next week.
It definitely is road racing, and it's going to be interesting. We're glad that y'all tuned in all week long for the Bluegrass at Dover. But now we're going to the Roval, and it's going to be interesting, that's for sure. Maybe some point shakeups. You never know until the end of the race. But don't forget, Monday night with the Truck Series at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, live here on the Bluegrass Facebook and YouTube channel. Till then, I'm Steve McMillan along with Alex Robinson. We'll say good night and God bless.